Alright guys, moving on to our next Patreon request, and this one comes from Hunter Johnson, who asked me to do a hero-villain mashup between Batman and Belos from the Owl House. As always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, where you guys can hit the third tier. You guys can hit the third tier. That will allow you access to do so. Just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, hit the third tier. That'll allow you access to do that, as well as check out all the other videos on the other tiers as well. I repeated myself, I'm sorry. So yeah, Hunter basically asked me to do this hero-villain mashup. Now, if you don't know what hero-villain mashup is basically where I take one hero and one villain, be like, what if these two were enemies? What would it be like if these two were adversaries? And you can see Batman and Belos, which is, gonna be honest, not my first pick for Batman. If I was thinking, like, cartoon villains for Batman, yeah, Belos would not be in that rogues gallery. Doctor Strange or Dr. Fate or Constantine, maybe, but not Batman. Like, when I think Batman villains, cartoon villains that can work for Batman, I'm thinking, like, I don't know, Shigo and, Storm Shadow or things like that. But anyway, here are the cards I've been dealt with. Let's get into it. So, yeah. Anyway, so, let's talk about this. Obviously, there's a bit of difference here. Now, it's not to say Bruce hasn't faced opponents that are, like, just miles ahead in terms of power ahead of him. I mean, dude got in Darkseid's face and said, I can blow up your planet if you want to. And that's how I kind of see it as, like, this is like Batman squaring up against someone, like, not on the same power, like, God level, but, like, on that same level of this is a villain who has, like, great power and can easily beat down a mortal man. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking at here. So, I think Belos would not view Bruce as a, threat. And that's kind of, therein lies the problem, honestly. Because the moment you don't take Batman as a threat, that's when you have problems. That's when you have your biggest problem right there, is when you do not see Batman as any sort of threat. And when you don't, that's when he gets the drop on you. And Batman has taken on, like, major, like, godlike beings before. He's never beat them, he's always had help. So on a solo level, I do see that, like, Batman, Bruce could see that, like, Belos is this fucking nut job and probably played, like, against his psyche. Saying that, like, you're not even close to being human anymore. You're nothing but, you're no better than the, than a xenophobe I've run into so many times. I think he'd even call, like, I straight up believe that Bruce would call, I think he would straight up call I think Bruce would call Belos a Nazi right to his face. Or a fascist or something like that. Now, the other thing is, obviously, Batman, Belos is not going to see Batman as an enemy. In fact, he's going to be like, you're human. You're completely human. We're both human. Why are you protecting these monsters? Why are you protecting these witches? And Batman's like, they're innocent. And that's all that matters. So that's how I think Batman would view this kind of, this enemy, is that, Bruce is going to do no matter what to protect these, to protect, even if they're witches or non-human. He sees injustice. He's going to fight Belos. The thing is that could he beat Belos in a fight? I do not believe that. No matter what kind of toys Bruce has in his gadgetry, in his little belt, I don't think that's going to kill Belos. I think it would wound him, but not stop him. And I think Belos deep down would especially hate Batman because, like, Batman didn't have to sacrifice a goddamn piece of him to become what he is now. Like, it would also infuriate Belos to no end that this human being, what he would consider, like, the pinnacle of mankind, almost, is debasing himself by dressing as like a demon and protecting non-human beings. That would just be downright heretical to Belos. So, on a spiritual level, Like, on a fundamental, like, religious level, Belos, I think, would want to go after Batman and, like, break him. Because he's like, I sacrificed so much of my body to kill these witches, and here you are, like, dressing as one of them and protecting them. They don't, these species don't deserve your, these beings don't deserve your love. They don't deserve anything from you. And he's like, they deserve my protection, and that's all that matters. So, Batman, could he win a fight with Belos? I don't think so. Could he, like, outsmart Belos and, like, hold the line until, like, I don't know, someone comes along to punch Belos in the face? Probably. You know, Batman's also, the other thing is, Batman, while he's encountered magic before, he's not really adept to it. He even, he has accepted that, like, magic is more, there used to be a point where he's like, yes, magic is just science we don't understand. But Batman's now gotten to the point where it's like, yeah, magic's a thing, I just don't get it. Like, I need magical consultants on that. You know, it's an expertise that I can't master. So that's the thing, is that I think Belos deep down would just hate Batman on the level of, you're human. You're the human. But you do this, you protect these witches. They're not human. They're scum. Why do you want to protect them? Like, why throw your life away fighting me, who's human, to protect these non-humans? And Batman's just gonna be like, I don't care what they are. You're a fucking fascist, and I'm gonna teach you some things about what happens to fascists. That's how I see it. So there you go, guys. But you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you think it would be like if Batman and Belos were enemies? Just comment below, let me know. Once again, I'd like to thank Hunter Johnson for this Patreon request. And like I said before, if you'd like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, hit the 3rd tier in the description box below. That'll allow you access to do so. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.